Hey everybody, welcome back to another review of Married at First Sight. This is going to be season 14, episode 11. As always, it's your boy Big James, the Big Eye himself. And, let's get to it. This episode was the 1 month anniversary, and it was a very dull episode. Nothing really even happened until like the end of the episode. The best thing about it was that there was mostly it was just flashbacks of stuff they've already done. So that's easy because like I've already seen that, and it mostly just them talking about what they're going through, what they've been doing. So this review is going to be not even a review. I don't even think it's going to be a review because the stuff they did do I can barely remember. Uh, it's going to be me going over what I think the couples are doing, whether they're going to make it, and what the problem is from what I can see. So let's start out. The first couple I'm gonna do is going to be. Let's start out with a good one or easy one. Stephen Noy. With Stephen Noy, this episode they were exchanging gifts and stuff, and I think they're the only couple that even exchange gifts. Anyway, they're looking through photo apps stuff like that. The thing with Stephen Noy is that Steve not working is a big deal, and he can't figure out why it's such a big deal to Noy. I don't know how much money this man has. Noy clearly doesn't know how much money this man has, and from what she says and what she implies, she don't give a damn how much money he has. He could be a millionaire. She don't care. She wants him to work because in her mind, that's what he's supposed to do. Now, the fact that he is financially stable, that he doesn't come across as someone that's struggling for money. He doesn't seem like he's very nonchalant about finances, and not from the standpoint of that he's just a hobo living off other people. It's just that he gives the image or the energy that it's no big deal to him, especially when he knows that he can just go to a job at any moment. He does the freelance work. He does work on his websites and on his apps. And, I don't think Noy cares because to her, it seems as though from just listening to her, she doesn't consider that work. That's all you're having fun because that's not a job. That's not somewhere he's going and getting a check. So she's just like, it's not a thing to her. And I think Steve is just like, he doesn't know what to do with it. And I don't think they're going to I understand him being hesitant to share his finances with her because they just met. They did just met, but they are married, and he can clearly see that it's bothering her and it's concerning her. So he should let her know where he is financially. But it seems like he keeps hanging on to close to chest. And even if he is telling her, there's a chance that she might not even understand what he's saying because she really seems like she just doesn't care. And Steve's stupid threats of, well, if I get a regular job, I can't take care of the house and stuff like that. I don't think Noy really cares about that. And I think she enjoys the fact that Steve cooks, cleans. He enjoys cooking. He enjoys taking care of the home. And since he's working from home anyway, I don't see what she's complaining about. He's working from home. She does. It's the same thing with Elijah and Katina. Because they work from home, the people who don't work from home don't consider that work because he's on his computer typing, doing his stuff, doing his things, making money his way the way he wants to make it. And she is just like, I don't consider that work. She's very traditional when it comes to a job and employment, and it makes her feel safe. And Steve's just gonna have to get over it. He's just gonna have to accept that. And they're throwing that they love each other around and all that stuff. And it's cute, but nah, son. They're gonna make it. I don't know unless this is a bigger deal to Noy, but I don't see where they're gonna go wrong at. He's gonna have to open up about his income, about his finances, about his savings, and all that in order for this to work. Without doing that, there's no way this is gonna work. And that's it for them. I think for the rest of the episode, they've been probably the most boring couple this whole season. They don't really do much of anything. I think the whole thing with her leaving and she talks about how she understands it was wrong and all that, and she thinks it was cute. I don't. That's another thing, and she seems a lot more immature than Steve. Steve seems like he's more mature, but he's also more traveled, more experienced, and has done a lot. And I think Noi has done something, but I don't know if she's not mentally at the same level as Steve. But I think also think Steve got a lot of childishness in him too. So it's like it's immature versus childish. The next couple we're gonna go to is Michael and Jasmina, and I love that there's only four couples. That's great for me. With Michael and Jasmina, they celebrate their 1 month anniversary, and he gets her gifts and he takes her back to where they got married at to have a romantic dinner, and it's all decorated in flowers and everything. It looks nice. It looks beautiful, and it might be just me. It could be other people, but whenever I cringe every time I see Michael and Jasmina when they first come on. Like when they first come on this episode, she's in the bed and he comes in the bed to lean over to like kiss her to wake her up and stuff. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, just like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. She finna go the fuck off. Because I keep getting the image in my head that she is just gonna snap on him all the time. It's like, and it's, I have a bad feeling about this because Michael is on eggshells. He is uncomfortable. He is struggling. He is trying his hardest to get her to be comfortable to where she doesn't go off. He at the dinner with her, he apologizes to her for for whatever. I don't even know what he did, but they were having. I'm on his side because they were having arguments, and both of their egos were like they didn't want to budge. Somebody has to take the L. Somebody has to apologize, and Michael was just like, you know what? I apologize. I'm sorry. Kudos to that, because there was no way in hell Jasmina is ever gonna say I'm sorry. But she did. She said she's because she when she was talking to him because they were going over their vows and they looked at the wedding photos and you could see her when she was smiling like that was the last time she smiled when she was so happy during the wedding. But then since then she hasn't been that happy, and she finally realized that she is having communication problems. That it is she plays a part in it, and she apologized for that. Like I'm sorry, I'm a worker. Because they redid their vows, which was again extremely smart on Michael's part because he brought that up. He said, they went over the vows that they said before. Now that we've known each other for a month, let's do our vows again. They did their vows again, and it was more. It applied more because then it was to a stranger. Now it's somebody that I kind of know, and they could do more specific and more relevant vows. I thought that was great. I think everybody should have did that. And Michael came up with that. Michael did. He is trying so hard with Jasmina, and she is just not putting forth the effort. She's not running away from it, and she's not ignoring it. But I don't think she likes him. I still don't think she is physically unattracted to him. I think she just doesn't like him. I don't think she believes he's ugly. I don't think she believes that there's something wrong with him. I think he's shorter than she would like because she's tall and she wanted someone like taller than her. And I think Michael is shorter than her. And I don't think they're gonna work at all. Not with him biting his tongue and watching his steps, because in any day now he's just gonna say fuck it. He's not gonna do that no more, and he's gonna go the fuck off because right now he's keeping it inside, and he's him doing that is making it work, but it can only work for so long. And I think at the dinner they pretty much said the same thing. It was they agreed, and I think Jasmina, she apologized for always interrupting him. And at the dinner party that evening, Michael was talking, and they both were agreeing on the same thing. Like, they're doing better than they were before. I'm sorry for that noise. It's something. If it's picking up on the mic, there's something going on. It's real windy, and I got a weather vane on my roof, and it is just squeaking his ass off. Uh, but Michael and Jasmina, they were saying the same thing about, they have communication problems. They're working through it. But they're doing better. They're trying to see if they can make it work. I don't think it's gonna last at all because I don't think she's only gonna go so far with him. And then beyond that part, they're not gonna go anywhere. So, and I think that's gonna, and I feel bad for Michael. I really do because he really is trying very hard, and it apparently it seems like it's all for naught. The next couple is Mark and Lindsay. With Mark and Lindsay, in my opinion, Mark is just riding this thing out. Mark, for their 1 month anniversary, he takes her glamping. So they didn't go camping. They went to like a tent that had electricity, water, everything. It was all kinds of shit. They weren't camping. They weren't in a tent out in the woods under the stars, stuff like that, and a sleeping bag. No, they were in like the most expensive super duper tent you could ever be in. That had running water, electricity, fucking TV and shit, Wi-Fi. That was not camping. That was glamping. And he had her. They had dinner. They had a good. They had a good time. It looked like Lindsay enjoyed it, but Mark was talking to her. He said that he wanted to thank her for all she's done. And I think from what he was saying, it sounded like he realized that Lindsay has had a hard life. That everything you see with her, how she acts, is a result of her hard life. So, and he has made up in his mind that he doesn't want to contribute to the problem she already has in her life. Lindsay is like, it's been tough because of all the things you're going through. And Mark's going through a lot, but I think the biggest issue he's going through is Lindsay. And I think the only thing holding him up right now is that, and I think a lot of stuff, I think the job thing really threw Mark off. As long as he still had a job, I think he would have been fine because he could have just found another apartment and that was really it. He had a job, he could have got another apartment anywhere. He didn't have to move in with Lindsay. And the losing his job thing was a big deal. So he's not like Steve. He is like, I gotta get another job. He is like immediately on that grind. And I understand Lindsay saying, you know what, don't go back to that grind. Stay here, get to know me, spend time together. And Mark hears her, but Mark's like, no, I want a job. He wants a job. And I think he wants a job because he doesn't want to be stuck with Lindsay. I think it's like he has stopped fighting and he's just riding it out. And so when this is over, he can go on. So by the time the next 4 weeks over, when they're done with their 2 months, he has another job, he has another income, and he can go get him a new apartment. He can get him somewhere to stay. He can move out of Lindsay's place. I'm confident he's going to say no because it seems like right now he's just cruising. And I don't know how long he's going to cruise, and I don't know how well he's going to cruise, but he's just cruising at this point. And he's just trying to say and do whatever it is to just keep Lindsay from going off. He's trying to keep her calm. It's like he's sympathetic to her. He understands her, but he's fully aware that we're not going to work together. But I don't want you flipping out, putting my ass out on the street and going off. So he's just riding it out so that by the time his 8 weeks is over, he can just get him some more shit and be gone. And I think Lindsay is kind of feeling that because she said she feels like he's like they were super close at first, but now it's like distance. He's like kind of at arm's reach, and she can't really explain it, and she can't really put a finger on like why, what's going on. And I think he's just like, yo, when this is over, I'm out of here. Because I think he just can't do it. And I don't even think Lindsay fully likes him. I don't. Lindsay is just she's too much, and she can lie and say that she has all these high guys, these wealthy people, men after her. But I think that's bullshit. Cause ain't none. I think she attracts a lot of attention to her. But when they spend time with her, they get to know her. They hit it and go. I think she is very openly sexual. I think she is very. She has sex very quickly, just like with Mark. I think she does that with everybody. And I think once guys sleep with her and they get her mouth gets to going on, they don't stick around. So she can say she has a lot of options or she has all this stuff. I don't think she really does. And I'm pretty sure everybody's leaving her for the exact same reason. It's not to say that, like Mark says, she got a big heart. She's very caring. She's very sweet. She's very nice. But she talks too much. She's always starting shit. And she's very insulting. And she's very rude. And she's very disrespectful. That outweighs the good. The bad is definitely outweighing the good with her. So people just cut their losses with her. And I think that, and I do believe her when she says that, off camera Mark is different than what he is on camera. I believe that is true, but I think off camera Mark probably just fights back more. And she is saying that, oh, he's different. I think he fights back more. I think he can really cut her and insult her, but when he's on camera, he doesn't do that. So I'm pretty sure there is a difference between the two, but I still think at the end of the day, she is very rude. And I think off camera Mark is just defending himself. There's no way they're gonna make it. The next couple is Katina and Olajuwon. Olajuwon just pisses me off because he's full of shit. He lies all the time. He's not nearly as smart as you think he is. They went on a goddamn gondola ride. And that word gondola, my country ass can say it. It's not a difficult word to say. He was calling it gondola. Him and Katina. That word kicked the shit out of both of them. He kept saying gondola. And then he was like, is that how you say it? Like, he knew he was wrong, but then he said gondola. I don't know how I'm saying it right. And then Katina was like, it's gondola. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Both of y'all ain't, it's gondola. It's a gondola ride. It's not, there's no J in it. Where's the fucking J coming from? My simple ass can say that right. But back to Olajuwon. Katina did all this for him. The rides, foods, gifts, stuff like that. They didn't show him doing shit. They only showed the gifts. They showed Stephen Noy exchange gifts. They showed Michael's gift for Jasmina. They showed Mark's gift for Lindsay. And they showed Katina's gift for Olajuwon. They didn't show, it wasn't an exchange. The only time it was an exchange was Stephen Noy. So just off of this episode, Lindsay didn't do anything, Olajuwon didn't do anything, and Jasmina didn't do anything. I don't think that's true. I think they just didn't show it to like build drama or whatever. But he's an asshole at the dinner party. Is what really, all the couples were going out together, and Olajuwon used Katina's phone to take a group picture. He was taking pictures with everybody, and he was using his phone. He was using her phone. And they get to the dinner, and everybody's talking, and they ask Olajuwon what's going on with him, and you can see it from the time he started. Basically, everybody was talking, and Olajuwon was the last one to talk about his relationship, his marriage, what he's learned, what he's experienced, how he's changing, and he doesn't talk about any of that. You can see him stewing the entire evening. He's stewing in his own shit. When it gets to him, he says that, I saw something in my wife's phone that bothered me, and I don't want to talk about it right now because if I do it on camera, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get ugly. And Katina is like, what the fuck? It took her out. Her confusion was genuine. She didn't know what he was talking about. And Katina was right. She was like, if you didn't want to talk about it now, you shouldn't have brought it up. Because now I'm confused. Everybody else is confused. Our imaginations are running wild. We're thinking it's something big and huge. And she was like, yo, listen, I'm done. Because I don't know what this is. I don't know what's wrong with him. And everybody was like, if you didn't want to talk about it, why would you bring it up? Because he wanted to talk about it. That's why he brought it up. He wanted to try and embarrass. And I wish they would have talked about it right then in front of everybody. Because he would have looked like a fucking fool. But they didn't. They went back to the apartment. And he asked Katina for her phone. He looks on her phone and he sees a dating app. And Katina is like, that's old. That's been there. It's not even active. There's no profile or anything on it. And he is fucking screaming. He's going off like, oh, you supposed to be my wife. You was screaming. He is just going off on his bullshit because he is immature, he's childish. And the thing is, though, he had a point, and then he just lost it. He had a valid point and a valid reason. You should not have a dating app on your phone. He is absolutely 100% correct in that. If we're married, you shouldn't have a dating app. Where he is wrong at was everything else. He is screaming at her, going off at her. She is telling him it's just an old app. It's been there for years. I've never used it. I don't have a profile. It's not activated. Nothing. It's just an old app on the phone. And he isn't listening. He doesn't want to hear explanation. He just said these are excuses. These are excuses. You're making excuses. And she just gets frustrated because it's ridiculous. And I don't blame her for rolling her eyes and just looking away like this is just stupid, because it was stupid. He made a huge deal. And he was like, if that was on my phone, you would be concerned. You would have a problem with it. Yes. Because you and her are different people. If you had an app on your dating app on your phone, you were absolutely fucking using it, Elijah. You are looking for people. You do have a profile. It is active. So yes, you had to delete all of yours because you were using a bunch of dating profiles. She's like, I wasn't using it. It's just an app on the phone. I 100% believe Katina, just off what I've seen of her, that she would absolutely have an app on her phone she's not using. A dating app. I wouldn't believe that shit with Elijah for a minute. So he is going off of what he had to do because of his character and projecting it onto her. The type of person he is, he would be on a dating app cheating. The type of person she is, she would not be. She was surprised as anyone the damn app was even there. She was like, I don't know, it's just there. I don't use it. He didn't want to hear that. He was immature. He was loud, aggressive. He just, it was so over the top and so stupid. It was embarrassing. Like the shit he does pisses me off because it embarrasses men. It makes men look, because Elijah Wan is too old for this shit. What is he, like 28, 29? He's too old for this shit. He acts like he doesn't know anything. He acts like he's never been in a relationship before. He acts like he doesn't know anything about black women. He acts like he doesn't know anything about women at all. He talks about her because, oh, he wants her to cook. And it's like he was fishing for something to complain about. Fishing for something to complain about. Because he wanted her to cook more, she's cooking more. Want her to clean more, she's cleaning more. All the stuff he complained about before, she's doing now. So he don't got that to complain about. So he's actively looking for stuff to complain about. And it's just irritating. Because this was nothing. It was completely nothing. He could have asked her to look at it. There was no reason that couldn't have been a talk. None. It was no reason why they couldn't just sit there and talk about it. Get to the bottom of it, figure out what's going on, and resolve it. No, he had to be a man. I'm a man. He had to just sit there, yell, scream, cuss, fuss to get something across. And you could see Katina was just done with it because it was stupid, unnecessary. It's And what pisses me off more than anything else is that this is a fucking couple that's gonna say yes on decision day. And I can tell. Because Katina has said she's been in an abusive relationship before. She's in one now. And instead of her just walking away and leaving it, she keeps making excuses for him. She keeps apologizing to him, trying to accommodate him. Instead of her being like, this ain't it, she keeps trying to make it work. She is trying very hard to not embarrass herself on camera and not to embarrass him. Because I believe she can throw a lot of shit up in his face if she wanted to. But it's like she doesn't want to humiliate him or make him look bad. But in the process, she's making herself look bad. Because she's cooking now, but then he complains that the damn cooking ain't good. Well, shit, she's not a cook. And she doesn't do laundry, apparently, because she doesn't even have any clothes to sleep in and to wear. He wants her to be something that she's not. instead of accepting her for who she is and what she does and how she lives. He does not want to accept that. He does not want to adjust his life to her. He wants her to fit what he imagines in his mind a wife is. And who the fuck is he to decide what is and is not a wife? He's never been one. And he seems like he doesn't have any men around him to tell him what he's doing is wrong, how he's acting is wrong. Because, you know, there's been nobody around. His brother's married, yeah, but that's his brother. They on equal terms. He doesn't have any friends, no homeboys that's married. That's like, man, what is you doing? He has nothing that he can look to as an example of what a marriage should be. So he's probably getting his information off the internet or some shit. And that's what he sounds like. He sounds like one of these fucking podcast dudes. These alpha male bullshit ass fucking podcasts giving terrible fucking advice on how to treat women and shit. That's exactly what he fucking sounds like. That's how he's acting. And he looks like a goddamn clown. And Katina's gonna say yes, decision day. And him threatening like, oh, I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna say no. I don't believe that for a minute. I think she's gonna put up with it so much that he's just gonna like it. But there's no way it lasts. But it'll make it to decision day. Shit, I hate it, and I hate it too. I hate it, but I just hate it. Elijah Wan just gets on my fucking nerve, my last fucking nerves. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and let me know what's going on with you. Tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm interpreting it wrong. Like I'm looking at, because I'm just a single person. I'm looking at it through my eyes. I could absolutely be misinterpreting this shit or getting it wrong. But I think with Katina and Elijah Wan, I'm seeing it right. They're gonna say yes, decision day. Because he is abusive and she is being abused. She's a victim. And I think if those cameras weren't there, it would be that shit would be a lot more physical. So I'll worry about what it's like when the camera's off. But hit me up. Let me know what you think, man. And I'll catch y'all next time, all right? Peace.